PB at Night, episode 28 for Tuesday, February 22nd, 2011. Give me some minutes. Hello and welcome into PB at Night. This is episode 28 for Tuesday, February 22nd, 2010. I'm your host, Nick Jones. And like we detailed last night, if you guys watched, if you didn't, I'd encourage you to go check out the episode. We're changing up the show a little bit. And Smoothie, I know you weren't here last night, so I'll detail it for you now, I guess, really quick. Big Bad Fletch, what's up? Like I said, you can join us in the chat room as always. Okay, so Smoothie saw it. YouTube.com/pbcasttv, also live.pbcasttv.com. But anyway, guys, we're changing up the show a little bit because we are going to be able to do one topic each and every week. We would do news, as most of you guys know, but now we're going to do one topic. I think that's going to allow us to get more people onto the shows, to have more guests, as well as, confine the show. So today I thought we would start off, and actually Carlo recommended this on Twitter, that we should start doing that we should start off the new show by doing a kind of a Linuxy tutorial. So I put my own spin on it, and tonight we're going to be doing something pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty cool. And yes, Big Bad Fletch, I know Fletch is a really big fan of Linux Mint, and we're going to be talking about that. But today we're going to start off a tutorial series, I guess you could call it. We're going to be detailing how to start off with Linux, and we're going to be going from the first steps, which will be tonight. This will be episode 1 in this series, like how to pick an OS. We're going to start with that, and then maybe, I guess probably next week, or I think we're only going to do the Linux tutorial maybe once a week until we get done. Excuse me, maybe twice a week. We might do it anyway, it doesn't matter. Next week, or whenever we do a show about Linux again, we'll do an install tutorial, and then we'll move on to installing some app, and then some other things. But yeah, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, tonight we're going to be learning about a couple distros, and learning how we should go about picking our first Linux distro. So as you can see, guys, this is my desktop, and this is where we're going to be doing a lot of the work. As you can see, our chat room, live.pbcasttv.com, as always. Fletch, Carlo, Jacob, and Smoothie are in the chat room. Guys, thanks for joining us. But anyway, let's go ahead and detail, as I bring up my show notes here. I don't know if you can see these, but some of the main distros that I'm going to include, there's a ton of Linux distros. I mean, there's just so many that we couldn't even name. Well, actually, we could name them all, but we wouldn't want to sit here for that long. And these are some of the top distros that I see a lot of people using, and some of the ones I'm going to recommend for various reasons. So the main distros include the one that you're seeing right now. This is Ubuntu. Also, we're going to be detailing Linux Mint, Fedora, Kubuntu, and Arch Linux. There's some other distros. There's a ton of other distros. Oh, and I think we are going to do OpenSUSE. I forgot to put that on here. See, this is how we work here. But anyway, these are the couple Linux distros that we're going to go ahead and get started with. So let's just go ahead and jump into the Chromium here and start out. First, we're going to talk about Ubuntu, because that's my main distro, and I'll tell you why. Ubuntu gives me a really cool, something that I like to say is kind of a good balance in between. It's good for your first Linux distro, but it's also a good distro to learn through, because you still have to, it's not like Linux Mint, where Linux Mint pretty much comes with everything you need installed to work out of the box, I guess you could say. So it comes with Flash, Java, all that good stuff that you have to download on Ubuntu. You don't have to download on Linux Mint. But the cool thing about Ubuntu is there's so many different, they've got a ton of different versions. Desktop is the one that you would presumably be using. Also, they have the Netbook Remix. They have the server. They've got the Ubuntu One cloud support. Ubuntu is probably, I think it's the #1 Linux distro by the numbers and by user share and stuff. Here's what they're saying about it. It's super fast and great looking. Ubuntu is secure, intuitive operating system that allows that powers desktops, servers, netbooks, and laptops. Ubuntu is and always will be absolutely free, which is great. Ubuntu is great. They have a great user support group, supporting. They've got a great forum. They've got some really cool. They're actually developed by Canonical, which I think, I'm not quite sure on this, they are based in the UK, right? Canonical is? I'm not quite sure about that. One of the cool things that Ubuntu has is the Ubuntu Software Center, which we will detail later, but that's one of the reasons you should pick it, or, think about picking it. Next up, we have Linux Mint, which I know Carlo and Fletch also use, and my dad also uses it, and it's really, really cool. I'm really liking it. Right now, they're on they're on Linux Mint 10, which is the latest release, the latest stable release, at least. I really like Linux Mint for the fact that it comes with everything you need. Like I said, it's based on Ubuntu, so if you want to avoid the hassle of having to install Java and Flash and everything, you want to go with Linux Mint 10. Linux Mint 10 is Linux Mint overall is one of the best Linux OSs to get started with. The cool thing about Linux, it's always free, or most OSs are free. I think there's a couple distros that aren't. But all the ones we're going to be talking about tonight are free. So, yeah, I mean, Linux Mint, it's very similar to Ubuntu, but I think a lot of the reasons that a lot of people like it is it comes pre-installed with a lot of the things you already need. It's a great transition from Windows to Linux, if you're coming from Windows to Linux, because the file system, they organize the file system a little bit different. Fletch, how would you describe it? Why would you say that people like Linux Mint? I mean, is there anything that you would say that there's a reason why you like it? I know I've covered most of them. That's what I was saying too. It's easy for first-time Linux users. Actually, I have the stream machine that we use. It dual boots Linux Mint. It hasn't been upgraded to 10, but it is really cool. Yeah, it is. It's really one of the best out-of-the-box Linux systems to use, and that's why we will probably be detailing it. I'm not going to be trying out all of these. I think I'm going to be trying out some of the main ones. So I know I'm going to try. I already have Ubuntu installed. We're going to do Linux Mint. Also, I think I've never downloaded Fedora, which is our next one. Fedora is probably would be my choice for if you're looking for Linux that runs the KDE, desktop interface, I guess you could call it. And we're going to be detailing that. And Fedora might be one of those things that you may want to hold off until I review it, because I have to say I've never tried it before, but it's really it is one of the most popular KDE based systems. It's 100% free and open source, thousands of free applications. It's got virus and spyware built in, and there's not very many viruses that are targeted towards Linux, which is one of the best things about using Linux. It's amazing. It's an amazingly powerful OS. You can share it with your friends because it's free. It's got beautiful artwork, and millions of installations have been made. So I'm going to be trying out Fedora, Linux Mint, and I think I'm going to give OpenSUSE. Is that how you say it? OpenSUSE? Is that how you say it? I don't know. I know you guys, I'm not very good with pronouncing stuff, but anyway. And then if you're really hardcore and you want to go the full route, you can go with Arch Linux. Arch Linux, actually, when you download it, it gives you, there's no GUI. It's all text-based. You can install a GUI, which a graphical user interface, which means that, you can actually click on things, and there's icons and things like that, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys haven't used text-based operating system. Actually, I'm sure probably some of you guys have. But anyway, I just put Arch Linux in there. If you're kind of familiar with Ubuntu or any Linux distro and you want to try out maybe like the hardcore Linux audience wants to try this out, Arch Linux is one of the best. We won't be detailing it as of now. We may go through it in a later episode on how to do it. But anyway, and then our final one, is it .org? Yeah, we're going to be looking at OpenSUSE. I'm just going to say it that way. .org, and it looks like they have a new version coming out in 15 days. This is made in partnership with Novell, I believe, anyway. Yeah. So yeah, the cool thing about OpenSUSE, I think that's how you say it, is you can create. They have a really cool thing that you can make your own package. So you can actually install GNOME, or you can install KDE, and if you guys don't know what this is, we're going to be going over this in a couple more episodes. This is really just detailing, you know, what the best ones are, what your best choices are. Their website's loading kind of slow here. But anyway, we'll be looking at OpenSUSE as well. A lot of these, one of the cool things about pretty much any Linux distro, there's tons of support, so if you're new to Linux, it's great. You can always go to the forum. There is actually not a, there's really not any Linux distro that I know of that does not have a forum, and if they don't, I'm sure that if you contacted the developer, they're probably a newer Linux distro. I mean, there's so many Linux distros, there's just, I mean, you can't, I mean, you know, a lot of them are based on Ubuntu because it's one of the easiest and fastest for developers to base their things off of. But anyhow, I guess that pretty much does it for this episode. I just wanted to detail the ones that we'll be trying out. So like I said, guys, we're going to be trying out Ubuntu, which I already have tried out, so I'll be able to give you guys a review of that. Also Linux Mint, which I've tried out as well, Fedora, and OpenSUSE. Fedora mainly because I want to try out KDE. You can install KDE on pretty much any Linux distro. I know you can do it on pretty much any Ubuntu-based box or whatever. But we're going to get into more of this, so I would ask you to please stay tuned to PB at Night. I think I'm going to try to get some people on, maybe help us, that use some of these. I know of some great sites that I'm going to be putting or talking about in some later shows that we can talk about, and maybe we could interview some of those guys. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining us on, like I said, this is PB at Night episode 28. As always, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/ThatNickJones. You can follow pbcasttv on Twitter, twitter.com/pbcasttv. Also, youtube.com/pbcasttv. I would say please subscribe because we release videos not only PB at Night, which is 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, but also Gadget Gurus and Tech Weekly, Mondays and Saturdays, respectively. And then we also do YouTube videos during the week. A lot of them pertain to Linux stuff. So if you once we get done with this, if you want to see some application reviews for Linux or program, whatever you want to call them, great way to watch our things. I do a lot of screencasts, usually about one screencast a week. But guys, like I said, live.pbcasttv.com, the best way to interact and come join us during the shows. If you head over to our site, pbcasttv.com, you can find out whenever we go live. I updated the schedule so everyone can view it now. Yes, Carlo. And then also, we now offer video downloads via our site. And also, tonight, I'm going to hopefully start back streaming 24/7. A lot of times it's reruns because we don't sit here 24/7. But anyway, guys, if you ever miss a show, and you can't wait till it's posted, or you just want to kind of sit back and watch our show, watch our live stream, you can do that as well. If you head over to our site, pbcasttv.com, we actually didn't detail this. Jacob has created us a Windows gadget that you can stream, that you can watch our stream with straight from your desktop. It's pretty cool. And if you come over here to the right side of our site, if you just come right here, click download the PBcast TV Windows streaming gadget, click the link, and it brings you to a MediaFire page, and you just simply hit download. And of course it won't work unless you're on a Windows machine, which doesn't really work if you're trying out Linux, but I presume that you guys, it does work on Vista or 7. But But yeah, guys, it's one of the best ways to watch us live. Then, you know, you can do whatever you want. So I guess that pretty much does it for this episode. I know it seemed kind of short. Well, not really, because it's been almost 15 minutes. But so it does work on Vista, Suite, and 7. 7's pretty cool because you can drag it all around the desktop. Carlo, correct me if I'm wrong, but Vista, you still have to keep it on the right side of the screen if you want to use it. But yeah, since we are going to hopefully start streaming 24/7 live again, it'll stream in the background, or you can turn it off whenever. Yeah, who really has Vista installed? But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Until, I guess, Thursday, because that'll be our next episode. I'm Nick Jones. All the links will be in the description below, wherever you're watching. So, guys, thanks for watching, and pbcasttv.com. So until next time, guys, I'm Nick Jones. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Peace.